Hey, in this video, so basically, as you might know, I'm doing a video every week. And usually I do a blog review of the Journey to Life blogs that us Destonians are busy writing. And some people have actually been writing for over 200 days now, meaning they started from 200 days ago, either writing every day or each consecutive blog post counts as a day. And so we're doing this for at least 7 years. It's quite a commitment. However, in this interview and this video review, I will, instead of doing a review of a blog, I will review an interview. So at Desteni we have this website called Equaf, and it's a really cool collection of interviews and books and music especially, and everything is available for download, so everything is digital. And there's like a free section of interviews that can be downloaded directly, and then there's like these series and these specific interviews that can be purchased. And there are some really cool series. There is the What is Sex series. There's a series about masturbation. Especially the What is Sex series is one that I have found very supportive for my life and for realizing and understanding who I have been within sex, and also in developing a new sexual expression in a relationship. Anyway, that's not what I was gonna talk about in this video. But there's another series called Quantum Mind interviews or videos. No, it's not videos. It's interviews that are on audio, so they can be downloaded as MP3s. And then I actually enjoy very much listening to them as I ride my bicycle, or especially when I do my cleaning, my weekly cleaning of the house. I listen to the interviews, and I simply put them on my phone, and then I walk around and listen to them with earplugs. And I enjoy very much listening while doing something physical. I find that assists with being able to listen and hear what is being said, because often it will be things that are beyond my current self-accepted limitation of understanding, meaning that I, for example, have created a belief that I am not good at understanding physics and technical information. And so when the interviews go into such ways of describing reality down to the actual physics and the technicalities of the mind and how the mind operates, I have to stay alert. But at the same time, it's a point that simply can be walked through breathing and through not accepting such a limitation. Anyways, so the specific interview that I'd like to talk about today is the one that is called Quantum Mind number 5. And it doesn't really matter what number it is, because if you were to download this number 5, it would be taken out of context and you probably wouldn't understand a lot of what is being said, because it's like the entire series is like one interview, each covering a specific part of the quantum mind. And there was a point in this interview, in this number 5 interview, that struck me, and that's why I'd like to come here and share it and present what was being shared. So basically they were talking about what the mind actually does, and how basically we have this, or I've had this idea that the mind and the body are two different systems. And I've always wondered, where is the mind located? Or when I was spiritual, it was, where is the soul located? Because I don't, I feel that I'm thinking in my head, but otherwise, where is the mind? And if the mind is not physical, how does that function? And so in this interview, they describe how the mind literally digs into the physical and remove parts of the physical that it's insert itself into, so that basically our entire body is infused with the mind. The mind is in all the cells and and it's like doing like a replica of the physical, so that it wouldn't even be able to be seen because it just looks like the physical body. And so what was described in this interview, how the mind would, for its own purposes of self-interest, which is just to be the mind and have control and have its energy and, you know, just like take over, kind of like, well, not like a cancer cell, but in a way it's like a cancer cell. And so when I heard the description of how that practically happens and how it literally digs into the physical body like a muscle fiber, for example, and almost chisels off parts of this body, and then it infuses itself into where this part was missing. And then I could see how that is exactly like we're doing on the entire earth. Like if the earth was our body, our communal body, this is what we humans, as we humans are then representing the mind. Why? Because we are allowing ourselves to be governed by the mind. Our bodies are controlled by the mind. So we as a collective do the same to the earth as our big body, our total body. And so we do that through fracking, for example, the process of fracking, where we literally put dynamite and chemicals and shit into the earth and explode it and like create these eruptions, and so that we break the earth basically and can get minerals or different kinds of minerals, as far as I'm aware. That is what is being done with fracking. And then, or we would do it when we pave roads. We would remove all the plants and you know, put concrete or cement or asphalt, and, you know, make our own world on top of the actual real physical world, the real physical earth. And then we would create, or we do create systems on top of the earth when we remove the actual real, the animals, and we explode and we drill up the oil and we cut down the trees, and then we take all of this and we transform it into energy, into money, through which we can profit, or individual human beings or corporations can profit. And then we create this world on top of the earth that is like a replica of the physical earth, but it is, you know, our money systems, our education systems, our political systems, our relationship systems, our family systems are supposed to be the systems with which we, you know, make the earth go round, and every day, you know, we live and we survive. But really it's not, you know, it's not an ecosystem. It's not based on the actual real life practical principle of what the earth is and how the earth exists. And so it's exactly down to the minute detail specificity is exactly the same we within the mind are doing to the physical body. And so this is yet another example of how the principle of as above as below is very much so concrete and actual, not just something that people say. It actually is so that exactly what exists within us and in our relationship with the physical and our relationship with the mind, and the decision we have made of how we're going to live is exactly the same that is existing in the world system. And so this is obviously also why, meaning that it's not random, it's not like coincidental. It is because the one is based on the other. The outer system that we are creating, the world that we're creating on the entire earth, is coming from who we each of us accept and allow ourselves to be in our relationships with ourselves and the body. Because what do we do as we live as minds infused in the body is that we go out and we consume and we buy and we are greedy and we feel things. And so we are collectively, all the human beings that are making up this world system are like one giant mind from that perspective in our relationship with the earth. And so it is obvious thus that the change that is so required to take place on this planet, because otherwise there's not going to be any planet, or there's not going to be any animals, and there's going to be this scorched earth with this race of human beings that are just gonna, kill each other and shit the place out until we die and until we evaporate ourselves. And so obviously a change is required, and it is clear that we cannot do that by focusing on the political systems or the family systems or the economic systems alone, because all of that is created in our image and likeness, like God created the humans in his image and likeness. And so we are collectively continuously, every time we get up in the morning and we walk with ourselves infused as the mind and the body, we are doing that same very thing to the earth and to the animals and to the plants and to the life source substance that is here, that is actual real life. And so this is why it is so important that we get down to the basic point of changing ourselves, which we can do through writing, through applying self-forgiveness, in bringing all these points back to ourselves, in like each, for me, bringing it back to myself, and then prescribing for myself through self-corrective statements and through making commitments to myself, prescribing actual living change in my reality. Every time a pattern comes up and I see some personality or a pattern, and it is here and emergent, and I can write it out and I can actually walk through it. And so this is quite an opportunity we have here, because it is such a concrete, practical tool. And so this is exactly what we're doing with this Journey to Life blogs and this commitment that we've made to write these blogs. So if you have resonated with anything that I've said so far, definitely suggest to go and check out the group and see this point of responsibility and how it transitions from the macro to the micro, and how whatever is going on in the world is in fact our individual responsibility. And so we can, each of us, take action through making that commitment, and by each person doing this, by each individual doing this, slowly but surely we can manifest the change, because we are showing ourselves that reflection, that it's possible to live in a different way, and it's possible to do things differently, and that it is possible to change. And so when we can prove that to ourselves, when I can prove that to myself, we can also stand as examples to each other. So definitely suggest to go and check it out, and check out Equaf. It's an awesome website. If you don't have much money, or you simply don't want to, or just curious, there are loads of free interviews and music that you can download and have a look at what it is that we're saying in more detail. And also I'll share the link to this quantum mind interview that I listened to and that I talked about in this video. Thanks a lot. See you next week. Bye.